Hello. Welcome to the bakery. Have you been enjoying your stay at Christmas Village? Oh, wonderful. That's so good to hear. So now what brings you in to see me today? Oh, so you're looking for some sweet treats? Well, we have plenty of those in stock, so you've definitely come to the right place. Now, do you have anything specific that you were looking for? All right. Well, why don't I show you some of our most popular selections, and then you can let me know if anything strikes your fancy. Does that sound like a plan? Terrific. All right. Well, a variety of our things are actually packaged in these festive treat wrappers. So, let me just take out a few of the ones that I think you'll like from behind the counter here. Alright. So, this first package here is my world-famous snickerdoodle. So, I bake everything you find here fresh each and every day from all local ingredients. Now these snickerdoodles, the recipe for them has actually been in my family for generations, and it's just the right balance of cinnamon and sugar. And we of course use real freshly churned butter in the recipe, and they are baked to absolute perfection. So you'll notice on the bottom of each cookie it's just slightly golden brown, and on the top of the cookie is covered in a generous sprinkling of cinnamon and pure cane sugar. This next one here, these are apple strudel bites, and the pastry is thin and flaky, and we use butter while baking, so you get that nice golden brown sheen on every single bite. And the apples that we have inside are all grown right here in the orchard out back. Yes, they're a bit tart, and we think that that adds a nice balance to the sweetness of the glaze that we use. And we add a generous amount of sugar in there. This is definitely more of a splurge, but it's absolutely delectable. I do recommend you eat these with just a bit of freshly whipped cream or some vanilla ice cream, which we also have if you prefer. This next one here is one of my favorites. It's our peppermint brownies, and we use dark chocolate and mixed with a bit of white chocolate chips. Right there you can see those, and then we have some tiny little slivers of candy canes in it, so you get that nice peppermint punch in there. And we cut them quite large just because, well, in my opinion, a brownie can never be too big. So this is lovely. And this is another one that's beautiful, served with a nice dollop of whipped cream. Okay, this is our next item here, our next sweet treat offering, if you will. These are our blueberry muffins, and yes, they're more like mini muffins. They're kind of bite-sized. In the middle, there is an entire blueberry, a whole blueberry, and of course they're fresh. And it just kind of pops in your mouth when you eat it. And they're all glazed with just a bit of sugar, because that's the way it is quite unique, and I don't think I've seen it anywhere else. It's a sugar plum cranberry pastry. So, the sugar plums are all glazed and sugared and absolutely delectable. And the same goes for the cranberries. And to cut the sourness and tartness of the cranberries, we add just a bit of sugar to the mix. When we're preparing the cranberries for it, and then we combine both of the fruits together. They blend together very well, and then of course the pastry is the same one that we used for the apple bites, so it's very flaky and that nice golden brown again. Okay. This one is particularly special to me. These are hot chocolate squares. So as you can see, it looks almost like our brownies, but a bit lighter in color because we've added milk chocolate instead of dark chocolate. And in the middle, however, we've piped in some frozen hot chocolate. So it's a nice, kind of refreshing frozen treat in the middle there. And then we've sprinkled it with some a nice dusting of cocoa on the top. So this is a real treat. And I wanted to show you some of these. These are our larger packages, but these are our custom-made gingerbread houses, and of course they're all edible. Usually people think they're so pretty that they refrain from eating them until they can no longer hold out. So we have quite a few gingerbread houses, but these are our top sellers every season. This is the Garden Cottage gingerbread house. And just like all of them, it's a normal gingerbread, but to this one we've added a touch of lavender. And then, as you can tell, it's decorated as if it were a garden cottage. So you'll see the roses and the lilacs growing out front there, and the pavement in front is actually edible rose petals dusted with sugar, and the roof is made out of sunflower leaves, or petals rather. Yes, it's amazing, isn't it? Okay, now this next gingerbread house is the rustic cabin, and all of the wooden slabs that you see there are actually chocolate. So it has the traditional gingerbread with no flavors added because the chocolate gives it that extra special something, definitely, that we put on the outside. And yes, we make all the icing here, and it has just the perfect balance of vanilla. We had a bit of marshmallow, and then of course sugar, and some other secret ingredients that I just can't divulge. So this log cabin is absolutely gorgeous. You see this little lake out in front here, and that's made entirely out of buttercream. So, okay, this next gingerbread house here. I call it the Enchanted Cottage. It looks a little bit like what I'd imagine Snow White's house to be like. I've never been there, but I've heard it's gorgeous. So this one has a variety of birds on the outside because Snow White is synonymous for her birds. And there's a bunch of lovely trees and flowers, things of that nature, and it just has a very quaint cottage feel. And it sparkles a bit, so it's a bit magical in and of itself, isn't it? Okay, this next gingerbread house here. This one is actually replicated. Yeah, exactly. It's modeled after Santa's mansion, so it's rather large. So there is quite a bit of gingerbread to get through here when the time has come to devour it. So it's absolutely lovely. I actually can't take credit for this. My assistant came up with this and makes a handful of them each year. So she doesn't make a whole lot just because a good deal of time goes into them. So they are kind of a limited edition, I suppose you could say. I have one in my house. I always snatch up the first one that she makes. Okay, this next, this is the last gingerbread house I'm going to show you, and then I have some other treats that I'd like to share with you. This gingerbread house is actually a tree house, so I love this one. As you can see, it's a bit elevated, and that elevation there is all marshmallows and chocolate. And yes, it looks a bit like a tree, doesn't it? We've modeled it that way. Again, my assistant, she's amazing. So the tree house sits on top there, and it has the same wooden slats that we used for the cabin. And there's a variety of things all around it. You can see there's little animals made out of gingerbread and marzipan, and there's a few different woodland animals, like such as squirrels and raccoons. They're all in the back there. That's great, isn't it? Okay, so that's it for the gingerbread. And now I wanted to show you some of the candies that we make, just because they're delectable in every way. So, we make the candies here ourselves. Just because one year I decided to order out from a well-known chocolatier in your neck of the woods, and I just wasn't very pleased with it. So I started making my own, and ever since I've never regretted that decision because everyone seemed to love my boxed chocolates. So I'm going to show you just a handful of them we make here. This is our marzipan truffle. So it's dark chocolate, which covers a marzipan square, and as you can see, it's in the shape of a heart, so it's quite a lovely gift for a loved one. And all of the chocolates that I show you can actually be included in one of our gift boxes. And so we have gift boxes that fit 6 chocolates just for a little nibble, and we have ones all the way up to ones that fit about 2 dozen, so you can pick and choose. Okay. Yeah, you can also choose to just have them wrapped as they are here, just in little gift bags. If you're just going to get a couple, that's perfectly fine. So that one's absolutely amazing. This one right here, I like to call them reindeer bites, simply because they are in the shape of Rudolph, who is by far my favorite. But don't tell the other reindeer, they get a little bit cross and jealous. So these reindeer bites are actually filled with a variety of different nuts, so it's kind of a nut cluster. And there's peanuts and walnuts and almonds, and they're all coated in caramel to make them stick together, and then covered in chocolate. It's one of my favorites. And this next one here are Christmas trees, and they're a bit larger than the other chocolates, a bit heavier, but they're filled with peanut butter and chunks of actual peanuts, and a little drizzle of caramel on top there, but the whole thing's coated in a white chocolate, which is very tasty, I can assure you. Alright, and then this one here. This is Santa's favorite. He comes in here every year and buys one of the 2 dozen boxes of these, and this alone, no other chocolate. This is the peppermint mocha square, so it has peppermint and a little bit of a mocha flavor in there with fresh coffee beans, and then it's covered in white chocolate, then it's covered in dark chocolate, then it is drizzled in melted marshmallow. So, yes, this is quite a splurge. I'm told he can eat all of them, the entire 2 dozen box in one sitting, though, so that's saying something, I guess. Now, this next one is actually Mrs. Claus's favorite, and this is our peanut brittle. And our peanut brittle also has a few almonds thrown in for good measure, and it's drizzled with honey, and then coated with caramel, marshmallow, and a white chocolate layer. Yes. And this is the last chocolate I wanted to show you. These are actually our chocolate-coated candy canes. So it's a normal candy cane that we make here. We spin it ourselves, and yes, it's a bit time-consuming, but it's well worth it. You can definitely taste the difference. So for this one, we dip it in half of it in dark chocolate and half of it in white chocolate. We can also do the same thing with pretzels, so if you prefer pretzels, we can do that, but our candy canes are delicious. So those are the ones I recommend. Did you see anything here that you liked today that you'd like to pick up? Okay, grab that. Great choice. And what else? Okay. Yes. Alright. Okay. Alright. Is that all? Okay, that's terrific, yeah. Well, what I'll do is I'll have you go ahead and head over to Judy. She's over there at the front desk at the counter, and she'll go ahead and ring you up for all of these. And well, it's actually 50% off. It's all covered and under your Polar Express ticket. And so, yeah, she won't need to actually pay for anything here at the moment. It'll just be placed on your ticket, and it'll be covered later by the railway company. You don't need to worry about that. Okay? Okay, great. Well, it was terrific meeting you, and I hope you enjoy your sweet Christmas treat.